Hello and welcome to Hidden Existence. Hope everyone's doing all right out there tonight. Apologies that we've started a little bit late. We've had a few technical issues. It's no wonder because our guest is coming all the way from Australia. It's River Morris. How you doing, River?
Hey, how you doing, sister? Geez, I tell you what, technology, eh? Hey,
It's a
right, Judge.
nightmare. We got there.
Hey,
I said we got there in the end, though.
finally, thanks to my technology whiz person right beside me here.
Yeah, he's done a good
That's
job.
good.
He's done a good job.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on.
Well, you're very welcome. I know you reached out after Kerry passed away, and you've
Yeah.
come on the show a few times, and I'd never had a chance to talk to you. So I thought it'd be great for you and me to hook up and let me learn a little bit about what's going on with you over there, and your connection with Bigfoot.
Well, some interesting stuff's going on down here, and thanks to the Yowie hunters and the the AYR mob, that's Australian Yowie Research, Dean Harrison and the boys, Buck Buckingham and Gary Lynn, they're doing some really good stuff up there, and they caught that thermal.
He did.
It's been shown in on Bigfoot Odyssey, yeah, with KERRY and the boys, and yeah, so they're doing some really good stuff, but there's more out there that they're encountering, you know. Yeah, so it's all happening, and it's summertime down here, so they kind of move more in the summer, you know, than in the winter in a way that, you know, like that we've worked out, you know.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I just want to say a big Merry Christmas to all the Bigfoot family, Bigfoot Sasquatch family from down under in Australia, us Yowie mob, and have a great one, eh? And also a big hello to Linda Arnold and the family, and your husband, mate, is sadly missed, and you know, he rang up on the radio show, and it was out of the blue. It was, and I've got two radio shows down here, but this is one of them.
All right. Okay. Inky and Pinky.
Right. Yeah, the Inky and Pinky show.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it off the logger because they've just upgraded the new computers and everything, but it was about 2:00 in the afternoon. Kerry's rang me on Messenger because he didn't know that I was on radio, you see.
Right.
Anyway, so I got the phone, and I put the phone up to the microphone of where I was broadcasting out of, me and my mate. And I said, "Kerry Arnold, you're live on the Inky and Pinky show." And he's going, "Dang, River, you got me on radio. You got me on radio down there." And I said, "Yeah, mate, yeah. You're live, mate. You're global. You're going all the way across Australia, and people know who you are, brother."
Excellent.
Oh yeah, it was so funny. Eh? And he had this big giggle on it. Yeah, I could see he had a grin like a Cheshire cat, you know. Yeah, sadly missed, eh? You know, and still is. And just got to keep his legacy going, eh?
Yeah,
bringing that awareness, and that's what I'm all about. Like, I'm not a researcher. You know, I don't go out looking for them. They find me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how that happened. What started that?
Well, it all started with me back in 1974 when I was 12-year-old. So if you're a good mathematician, you'd know how old I am now. But anyway, It all started at 12, and I was with my uncle and three aunties, and we had about 6 little ones, around about 5-6-year-old. And it was me and my cousin, and we were 12-year-olds. See, we were the elder fellas. The old uncle said, "Can you go down to the river and get some water?" So we had 2 buckets of water, see, each. The old tin bucket, you know. Anyway, we had to walk around about 300 yards to go down to the river. And the width of the track was like you know where you get your slashes, you know, where you're about 8 foot wide.
Right.
Anyway, we're walking down through there, see. We gets down to the river. It's around about 38 degrees, mate. It was bloody warm, eh? So we decided to have a bit of a swim, see. Anyway, we're swimming around. gets the water and we're walking back up. We got about 20 yards up the track and Lloydie said, "Cuz, I've got to do a Jillawa." A Jillawa means go and do wee-wee, see?
Okay.
Anyway, so I've gone, rightio. So he's gone over into the bush, see? Anyway, and I heard this. Now, look, we haven't got bears down here, right? We haven't got, you know, like grizzlies or black bears like you fellas got up in the States and that, you know. Anyway, and where I was at, there's no pigs, no cattle, nothing like that at all. But there was walking around and there was like movement. Anyway, and I just happened to look over, see? And I'm only about 10 foot away. And I looked and I seen this face looking at me, but it was all like he was like down on all fours. But he would have been about 4 foot high on all fours. And I'm looking at him, and all I could see was his face looking at me, see? And I'm thinking, what's that, you know? But it looked like a caveman type fella, you know? Anyway, and I'm looking at him and I'm looking at him, and I said, "Lloydie, hurry up, brother, hurry up, you know, come on. And when he come over, he said, "What's going on?" I said, "Look over there." And he looked and he seen the same thing, and it crouched down. It got right down real low and you couldn't see it then, see, through the lantana bushes and that. Anyway, he said, "What is it, cuz?" And I said, "I don't know." So we got our buckets and we're walking. And when we're walking, this thing was paralleling us. And I said, "Stop, cuz." And stop, and there'd be one more step, you know, like they always say. And that's what happened with us, see. Anyway, and like we were about 150 yards by now, halfway, you know, up to the mob, you know. Anyway, there's a big clearing on your right-hand side, and we got the buckets. And this thing was paralleling us, and then it come to a clearing where you could see through. And this thing was about, I'd say around about easy 8 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, easy 8 foot. And it ran. And like Kerry used to say, the cartoon type run.
Mm-hmm.
Same sort of thing, man. It was quick, eh? It was quick, just gone, you know, bang. And, oh, God, hang on. Oh, no. CeeLo! CeeLo! Quick. Oh, shit. Come on, bro.
Technical issues.
Hang on.
Yeah, no problem.
Did it turn off?
Yeah. Anyway, and it was like cartoon. And he just ran, man. He was so quick, but he'd been about 8 foot. Anyway, we gets up to the uncle, see, and Uncle said, "What's going on with you fellas? Where's the water?" We said, "Never mind the water, Uncle." I said, "Look over there." And he seen the back half of it, just as it was going into the briar bushes, you know, amongst the gum trees and the briar bushes. Anyway, so he got the aunties, he got the kids, bundled them into the bus. "Mate, we're gone." So we took them home and we come back, see.
Right.
And like we didn't have cameras back then, sis. I mean, like, you know, not like we got now. But we went looking and we seen these tracks, eh? It was down near the river where it was all the mud, like it was just soft soil. And you could see tracks, they'd have been about, I don't know, easy 15 inches, 16 inches long and wide, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's where the lad was coming down looking at us when we were in there having a swim, see?
Yeah.
And he was telling us, because see, my old people always told me, you know, don't whistle at night. Don't go out in the bush on your own at night, you know? If you got to go in the bush to do something, you know, there's got to be a reason, you know? But, and he told us about the area, man. Look, all my elders, all my 15 uncles, you know, they all told me, you know, in lingo and language, because I know my language, see? And this is where I can relate to them fellas. That's further down the track. I actually spoke to two, and
Right.
they were about 20 feet away from me, sis. And I didn't even know how close they was until they gibbered back. But it was like a tricky sound, mate. It was like but it had a kind of a like a thing in between. It's tricky how to describe it, eh?
Yeah.
But that's not the first. That's I've heard other ones with different language again. The hours down here and different colours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, we're down there for about, I don't know, about another hour or so looking around, you know. But there was no structures, no crosses, no nothing like that. It was just tracks. So we went for a bit of a walk again, you know, and then we found these rocks about that round, and they were stacked on top of each other. There's no rocks around that area. There's no rocks for about 2 miles or something, you know, up where there's a bit of caves and mountains and that. But so they've got to be bought there by something.
Yeah.
And this place is on Aboriginal land, so like not anyone can go there. There's a gate, you got to have the key to get in, unlocked, you know. But there's no one there, you know.
So I mean, how many sightings around are you hearing about? I mean, are there a lot of encounters in this area? Yeah.
Well, up there, I'm in South Australia.
Okay.
But I'm heading back up to where I was from after Christmas. So,
right. Okay.
Getting back up in the mountains and that, you know, because I kind of miss that. It's different down there. But I got a mate of mine down here, and he rang me up about a month ago, and he was out of the place called Flinders Ranges, and he was on holiday. He had his camper van, a caravan and 4-wheel drive, see? And he parked in this area where you can go, but there's no one else around. It's just this parking area where you can go. And he rang me up from there, but he didn't have a visual, but he had all the sounds and the smells, because he was cooking. See, he was cooking on those like those roast ovens, and it was a pork roast he was cooking. See. And around about 11:30 at night, he's laying in his van, and he heard this heavy bipedal step. And I asked him, I said, was it a big kangaroo? He said, no. I said, was it a big pig? He said, no. He said it was bipedal, and it would have been around about 30 yards away from where he was. And he said it was so loud that the van was, like, the caravan was shaking, like with the footsteps, you know. So, yeah, and I had a friend of mine from up north in New South Wales when I'm heading back up to after Christmas. She rang me up one day. She said, River, I've got to talk to you about something. I said, yeah, what's that? They've had a lot of floods up there, see? And all the trees come down over the road. It's just a dirt road. And it goes for about 30 k's in, see? 30 mile in, 60 mile in. She was walking down to check the roads to see what they were like. And there was a few trees down across them, see? She said that she heard this thing in the bush about 40, 50 yards away. She said it was like a runaway train crashing through the scrub, see? And I said, did you get a look at it? She said, yeah. And it followed her home. Next thing you know, her chooks are gone missing. The rabbits are gone missing. Yeah. She's got 4 dogs. 2 dogs were gone missing. So, yeah, and it wasn't just the one. She was saying there was another one there too amongst them. You know, they don't just get around in ones, because we got the same deal down here. We got the day watchers, you know, the lads. And this is a strange thing, Sis? Like, I've seen most of my sightings in daytime, right on the evening, you know, like dusk. Like that time we're out there rabbiting, mate. I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah, that was tricky, that one, I can tell you. And that's out of the place called Wallumbungles. It's a big, like, national park, you know. And there's Aboriginal land there, see, and we got this big rabbit warren out there, and no one else knows about it. Right. So me and Kenny, see, we going out in the ute. We've borrowed me mate's ferrets. So we had ferrets in the cages, and off we go, and see. Anyway, we had the esky in the back, you know, a couple of sherbets in there, and we had to walk about, I don't know, 150 yards from where we parked the ute to where the rabbit warren was, right? So we walked over, we've done what we had to do, put the ferrets down the hole, you know. Anyway, we gone back and we're sitting on the tailgate of the ute having a sherbet, see, like a beer, yeah. Anyway, and we get this smell, see, and this is amazing, man, because there's no one around. There's no one for miles. Hey, look, true, sis. And we got this smell of burnt plastic, like wire, the plastic around the wire.
Right.
So we opened the bonnet of the car, like to check the motor and everything. We were going, no, can't, no, surely the car ain't burning, like. So we checked all that, nah, nothing. We went back around, sat down, had a beer, having a yarn, and looking around. Then we get this other smell, sis. And it was like, I don't know if a lot of people out there in the chat know about how you get that, like the rotten egg gas.
Right.
You ever smelt that? Like we used to do it at school, make the brass and, and that's what we smelt, see? Anyway, we're looking at each other thinking, now what's that? What's that got, like you got burnt plastic. This is about like half an hour in a gap. And I'm thinking, how can you get burnt wire and then all of a sudden you got rotten egg gas, Anyway, we thought, right, we'll go over and check these ferrets, So we're walking over there. Now, we don't have no weapons, like we don't have guns or nothing like that. No, if anything, we have spear or,
You got ferrets.
In the cover there. So, we were just going to get rabbits, Yeah. Anyway, didn't know a lot, but so we're walking over there, see? And all we mainly had was one of these fellas, see?
Right, okay.
Like this, like you throw this fella.
Mm.
This is how we knock over emus, see, with this fella.
Right,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, take them out from their legs, see?
Right, got you.
See that?
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hang on. Oh, look, it just come in here.
Right.
Fair dinkum, mate. Australia's amazing, really. He just comes straight under my chair.
Right.
Oh, hang on. I got him now.
Yeah, there's a big one there, isn't it? We got him. Yeah.
Yep, I got him. I just put him over there.
Yeah.
Boy, guys, never a dull moment in Australia, mate. So we're walking back over to the Warren. We're walking to the Warren, right? And I said to Kenny, I said, you hear that, brother? And it was a big crack, like something that trod on a log or something, or like a branch, and it's just gone bang. And we're looking, because we know, man, that there's no one out there, right? We're looking, see, and we're thinking, oh, yeah. And we're walking ahead, and there's these two big gum trees about 40 yards away from us, and they're right beside each other. And they'd have been around about 3 foot round, 4 foot round, Anyway, we looked, and I said, Kenny, looky, look. And this big fella, he come out like that, out behind the tree, and then come back in, see?
Wow.
And we looked, and we going, no, because we had some choice words, but we can't say it on here, But like what the, and we looked, and so we're looking around like this, but then he'd gone, see? And we thought, no, you seen that, eh, brother? And he said, yeah. And I said, I seen him too, bro. Anyway, so we thought, now what are we going to do here? We're going to go over, because we're about 50 yards away from the Warren, right? What are we going to do? Next thing on our left, we heard this other big bang again, see? We looked over and we got visual. I reckon it would have been a juvenile, because he would have been about, probably about 6 foot. Yeah, about 6.5, I suppose, 6 foot. And he was he was slender. He wasn't a big bulky fellow like that lad we seen pop his head out behind the tree, or body out behind the tree. But we got a visual of him, and he just ducked straight down. Where you go, bang, straight down he went. And we said, that's it, brother. That's it. We're just going to leave the ferrets. The ferrets can fend for themselves, mate. We're out of here. So on our way back, like, we didn't run, because that's what our uncle said, never run,
Mm-hmm.
We just had a brisk walk. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And on our way back, on the other side, we got another crack. Yeah. But this time it was like 2 rocks hitting together. Like just a big pow, like bam type thing, We've gone, this is not good, Kenny. Anyway, and there was 3 of them, right? anyway, we're in the ute, mate. We just planted it. We're out of there. But driving home, we kind of figured it out because we went and told our uncles about it. And we figured it out that this time of the afternoon, we on daylight savings, right? And around about 7 o'clock, you can still see, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So we've come down at that time where they come there to hunt their own rabbits. That's
Right.
what I thought. I thought, hello.
Yeah.
They'd be thinking, what are you fellas doing here?
Mm. Yeah.
This is our tucker, not yours. But, I've told them that. I've told them. I said, look, I eat kangaroo, I eat emu, I eat rabbits, I eat pigs like you fellas do, But I say it in my language. And I've had them say things back to me. I couldn't understand them, but yeah. But they must have understood my language. Because they don't forget. Look, these fellas have been with our people for over 60,000 years down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the history there then? What are these creatures? What are the stories where you are of what they are?
My old people used to tell me that, like even our great-grandfathers and everything, like they'd seen them. We've got them on caves, like where the old fellas and that drew the pictures of them,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's got a lot to do with the Ice Age.
Yeah.
Where everything's separated, because they're the same as the Bigfoot. They're the same as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, But there's different similarities. I mean, like I've seen that one when we were dragging a kangaroo, and I was telling Kerry about when we were out foxing, but he looked more like gorilla-ish in the facial, but no hair on the face, and the cone, the same thing, the same deal. But I spotted different colours and different facial ways, like facial aspects to them, And even females, when I seen that family, man, the mother and the father and the two juveniles, they were about 5 foot. They were standing in a river. I was on my way to do breakfast radio. That was, mate, that done me. You can see that she was a female. She was about, 8 foot. He'd have been about 10 foot. And you can't miss something like that. Standing in the river, and I'm coming down at 4:30 in the morning, foggy, like da-da-dum, da-dum, 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 had me dog, me onesie in the back with me. I was in a Ford Econovan. So I had a phone, but it was in my bag in the back. So I'm coming down, I'm snaking down, coming around onto a low-level bridge, see? And here they were. And the old fella locked eyes with me, the father. He had yellowy red eyes, orangey kind of yellowy, real kind of dark orange, kind of almost red. But he locked eyes with me, And that was it, mate. Yep, I just stopped the van and I had visual with them for around about 5 to 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you know, you could see him nudge her, and then she turned the kids away from the headlights, and then off they'd gone up into the mountain.
Wow.
And I thought, well, that'll do me. I thought to myself, well, and my dog, she's going absolutely bananas in the back. I'm going, Numina, what on, because she knows my language, see? And like, Numina is her name. That means nighttime in our Gumbangi language.
Okay.
Anyway, and she's going absolute nuts, and I'm going, what, come on, and you go, no, be way, no, go away. Like that's it. And then I planted it, mate. I got into the radio station. I was quiet as a mouse. They're ringing in going, River, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm elsewhere. I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here. Just put the music on for a bit, because I had to think about this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not like everyone sees them, but I just want to bring the awareness out to people, because not only in the States, Canada, all around the place, there's heaps of them, And we got all different names for them down here. We got Purikan. We got Yarma, we got Nunkana. That's where I'm at the moment. Around this area is called Nunkana.
Okay.
The Yowies down here. We got Wawi, we got Jimbra, and we got Jingarabogru. And then we got all names like Dulagal, we got Gulagal. And then we got Quinkins. Yeah, so the Quinkins are the big fellas. They're around about 14 foot, them lads, Oh, yeah.
So these are just different terms for them, Bigfoot in different dialects, basically.
Yeah, that's what the people down there call them, see? Yeah, yeah. Like in our Aboriginal language.
Yeah.
Whereas the white fella just call them Yowie, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about in towns around there? You know, are people getting sightings, or is this more out in the bush, say, you know, or you know, thinking of Melbourne, you know, do they get
well Victoria there's a few hotspots around Victoria. Not so much Melbourne because it's too popularised. I mean, like, it's you get them west of Sydney. There was a lad that he's had an encounter with a dog, or a dog man apparently, out the west of Sydney. And where that sighting was, the population was around about 250,000 people.
Right.
So there's this thing wandering around in amongst all this populated area, you know.
Yeah.
He got sightings of it in a creek while he was in a canoe or something. Yeah. But main hotspots is New South Wales and Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of my stuff was Western New South Wales, Warren Bungles, around Coonabarabran, at a place called Pilliga Scrub. Has anyone ever mentioned Pilliga Scrub on the shows?
No.
Well, that's a big lot of land in New South Wales, and it's a very scary place, eh?
And very hot and humid up there in the north. You know, you just wonder how these things manage.
Well, see, they've been managing a lot longer than us. They're adapted to the land, man. You know, like that's their backyard. That's their lounge room, you know. Mm-hmm. And here we are, come wandering in, you know, like dum da dum da dum da dum da dum. Yeah, yeah. Hey, what are you doing here? You know, like, yeah. But the hotspots in New South Wales and out of Pilliga Scrub, I got to see the Pilliga Princess.
Right. So what's that?
Yeah, I was driving back home, mate, through the scrub, and people say, don't stop in the Pilliga Scrub, whatever you do, right? You just keep driving. You get a flat tyre, mate, don't get out and change it. You just keep going, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple of mates who drive cattle, sheep trucks, you know? And one mate, Beetle, he pulled up. He was that tired, so he had to pull up. So he pulled up in the Pilliga. He woke up at about 1 a.m. with the cattle crate shaking like this, see? Well, here was this thing about 9 foot tall trying to get the sheep, and it ripped off all the side of his truck and everything trying to get to the sheep. Well, that was it, mate. He put pedal to the metal. Mate, he was out of there. But he got ridiculed, you know, when he tried to tell people what he'd seen. They were going, Beetle's just on drugs again, you know, keep him driving, you know, rah. But the Pilliga Princess, I was coming back from the place called Barradine, going to Coonabarabran, see? I'm on my own, and it's about 11 o'clock at night, I suppose. Anyway, and I come around this left hander, see, and I seen a figure in a dress, like in a white dress. See, would have been about 5 foot high, 4.5, 5 foot high. And I'm going, here we go. You know how the headlights come around like that, eh? Well, that's when she was in full view, and she's only about 15 feet away from me when I passed her.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I got to witness the Pilliga Princess. I've seen Yowies in there. I got mates who's got cabins in there, and they go up for holidays and everything, and I've been there with them, and we've had some really crazy experiences there, eh, with the big hairy fellas. Well, they're only coming in to check us out, you know. They're going, hello, we can hear music, we can smell chops, we can smell bacon, we can smell steak, you know. They come in to check us out, you know. And we don't have guns, you know. So they come and check us out, and they just let us know that they're there. Yeah.
Do you wonder if there's a big difference, because America? I mean, you don't carry guns in Australia, if I remember.
Well,
maybe
you got to have your license. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember guns being. I mean, I've only been once to Australia. I mean, I stayed there quite a bit, but I never remember the guns being a thing there. I just wonder if there's a difference with the interactions with America, maybe carrying more guns. I mean,
well,
you know, hunters out. I mean, you use different things to hunt with. I mean, I don't know. Do you think there's a different interaction?
There are lads out there with guns that live out in the bush.
Yeah.
You know, but that's mainly for shooting pigs or something, for their own tucker.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, but the same deal, I guess. I mean, the owies down here would be quite aware that, this thing's a gun and it fires something that could hurt you. But I mean, you're going to need something more than a 22. That's all them fellas have got,
Mm.
Like, mate, you need a bigger gun to bring them things down, but you wouldn't want to shoot them anyway,
No.
No. I mean, like I just want them to be like they are.
Mm.
Let them roam around the country, let them do what they do. But it's just that we're getting popular. I mean, population's growing, see, and people are starting to encroach.
Yeah.
That's like my old Uncle Ted Thomas. He was a gubbu. What they mean is the head of our tribe, He used to go in the caves down the south coast of New South Wales and sit in the caves there with them and have a yarn with them, eh? Yeah,
Right.
Uncle Ted. And he'd come back and tell us.
Mm-hmm.
And say, "What'd they say, Unc?" And he said, they just worried about the people encroaching on them. So they've got to keep moving, see?
Yeah.
And they've been there for thousands of years, you know what I'm saying, eh? Just, but this, so, I'd rather leave them alone. But like I said, I don't go looking for them fellas. They find me, Yeah.
I think most encounters are like that, aren't they? People just going about the day, hunting, hiking, and then the next, they come across these things.
Yep, absolutely, And we got the little fellas down here too, don't forget.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, little brown jacks, they're called.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they're mischievous little lads, them fellas, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Creepy.
Oh, yeah. I got a mate of mine, he lives out in the bush in New South Wales, and he lives about 10 kilometres from town. There's a little bloke gets the bus. He catches the bus, see? And the driveway's about a kilometre from the tar road, from the main road. Anyway, I went out to go and give him a hand for the weekend, see? And this is on a Friday. I got there around about lunchtime on a Friday. Anyway, and he had to go into town, see? So anyway, he said, can you go and meet the young fella, Scotty, off the bus when he gets home? And I said, yeah, brother. Yeah, I'll go down there, So anyway, time had come around the bus. I'd seen the bus coming, and so I'm walking down this driveway, long dirt driveway, seeing it's got a big gate. Oh, a gate's about 15 foot long or something, big steel gate. Anyway, when I gets down, I'm coming down and I'm looking, see? And here's this other little fella sitting on the gate with him. And I'm thinking to myself, well, he must have a mate from school coming to stay the weekend with him, see? Anyway, and I'm walking along and they're both like riding the gate together, see? Jumping on the gate and riding it back and forward,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting down closer, see, and I'm thinking to myself, that's not like a little kid, And I got down and Scotty turned around and seen me, and he went, hey, Uncle River, like that, see? Well, the other little lad, he turned and looked, put his head straight down, and he took off straight across the road, into the bush and gone. I said to Scotty, I said, who's that little fella? He said, I said, Uncle, he comes and meets me every afternoon and he plays with me. I said, true? I said, how long you been doing this? And he said, about 3 weeks. And I said, yeah. Have you told Dad? He said, no, because if I tell Dad, he won't let me play with him. And he's even said that that little fella, that little hairy fella, that little brown jack, he's been up at the house with him playing in the sand pit and that.
Wow. That's
yeah, and I'm thinking, where are you from? Because you've obviously got parents somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some fascinating accounts, isn't there, of people playing with these things as kids or interacting with them, having relationship. Well, friends playing together, meeting up. Fascinating, isn't it? You kind of wonder if the next generation of them are going to change in the way that they interact with humans.
Well, that's it. And there's all and the old uncles and aunties will say, keep the kids close by you in the bush,
Mm.
Yeah, don't let your kids wander off. Because there's been stories down here, sis, with that sort of thing going on, where they've been kidnapped, taken away, like America's 411 type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people gone missing, and no one knows where they're gone. You know, like, yeah.
Who knows what happens there? Yeah.
That's it.
So where do you think they hang out at? I mean, do you think that they're underground people? These things. Where do you think they just roam constantly, or do they have?
Well, they're like us Aboriginal people. They're nomadic. See,
Okay.
they've got to keep moving. You know, like, but they seem to have what I'd kind of gathered with me, just being out in the scrub and being kind of looking around and thinking, oh yeah, that's, you know, you get a tree bend going, you know, north, then you get another tree bend going north again. I'm thinking that's probably their signal to say I'm going this way, you know. Well, yeah, but there's all sorts of things. I mean, like I said, they've been around for years, man. I mean, like, you know, they've got their own ways, you know, but people are starting to see them more now. But they're not coming forward and you know, and yarning about it, because they feel as if people are going to go, no, he's no regard, that fella. Don't listen to him, he's silly, you know. But that's why a lot of people won't come out, you know, because I've spoken to, well, people have come to me and spoken to me on the side type thing, you know, in the street, you know, and said, hey, brother, can I have a yarn to you about something, you know? And I said, yeah, what's that? Well, come over here and we'll sit down. I said, no worries. And he'll let it out, you know, and you can see the tears in his eyes, you know, because like I was telling Jean Hudson, g'day Jean from the chat line, all the best sister for Christmas, and all the rest of it. But Jean's been really good, and she's like, we chat on the line, you know.
Yeah.
Asking about a mate of mine. I was a mate of mine who's seen the dog man.
Right.
And he hasn't been the same ever since. He's been having a bit of counselling going on, but he's seemed to kind of, like, he can string a sentence together now, so he's getting better.
It's shocking, isn't it? You know,
it affected him really, really bad. It got to almost, his wife was telling me that he's almost tried to top himself, you know. It's got that bad with him, and he doesn't want to see that ever again, you know. And she, yeah, but yeah, like they're out there.
So is there anywhere out there like we've got here, you know, like Bigfoot Odyssey was doing, we created, you know, a space for people. What's going on over there? Is there any channels? Is there anybody doing anything?
Yeah, we've got this Australian Yowie Research.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Yowie Hunters.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, they're all...
Can people go to them, though? I mean, I'm talking about a place for people to go to.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dean and the boys, they always encourage. They've even rang me up and going, how you going, brother? You all right down there? And I'm going, yeah, bro. Yeah, they're still in my mind, but I mean, you know, I'm still kicking along, and, you know. But like with KERRY, you know, but I mean, like that first time, man, we were 12, you know, and we've been told a lot of things about him. But until you see it for yourself, you will understand what other people have encountered, you know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know, but I've had so many, and I mean, you know, and like even I was going out quailing out of a place called Macquarie Marshes, and all I had was me 2 boomerangs. So, you know, I put the boomerang on top of the other boomerang and throw both at once. But what I'd do is I'd clap.
Right.
We get 2 sticks that clap, and the quails will jump up and fly, see? And there'd be about 150 of them. And I just throw the boomerang with 2 of them, and they'll both peel off in the air. So if the top one don't get one, the other one will, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Yeah. But I was out there. Quailing, see? Getting quails. Anyway, I heard this grunt growl, saying I thought it was a pig. You know, I thought, hello, here we go. I'm out here with just me, like what's his name? That's not a knife. This is a knife, you know. All I had was a knife, see? It was on my side. And I heard this grunt, and I thought, oh, yeah, here we go. I'm going to get harassed by pigs here, you know. Anyway, I thought, I'll go over and get the quails. Thought nothing of the grunting, see. Anyway, I'm walking over there, looking around as I'm going, seeing I'm picking up the quails, yeah. I've got 2, actually. Anyway, I picked them up, seeing I'm going back. I thought, no, that'll do. It's getting a bit tricky here, because then I heard this kind of a noise, like a grunt, like talking, like that, like that sort of thing, eh? And I'm going, oh, here we go. Anyway, it gets back to the car, see? Throws the quail into the esky, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to stay here, I'm going to go. Anyway, started up the engine, just about to go, and this big slap on the back of the ute.
Wow.
I looked in the side mirror, and I was seeing it running away. All I'd seen was the back of it. Yeah, that would have been about, 7 foot, but it's just gone whack, and it dented the side of my ute. Yeah, I've still got the ute.
It wanted you to know it was there, doesn't it?
Yeah, get away from my food. Same deal as the rabbits, Yeah, because he's in there getting quails. He's probably in there getting pigs too, because they come down to the marshes, have a feed and have a drink,
Yeah.
So they sit there and they go, rightio, here we go, bacon time. So
there's plenty of food for them, isn't there, out there? Plenty of food for them out there. I say there's plenty of food for them out there.
Oh yeah, there's heaps of food, eh? You've got basically everything. We got deer here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got deers. They even take people's llamas, alpacas.
Yeah, of course.
I've got a mate up north. I've got a mate up north who lives on 100 acres of land, and he's been having a lot of stuff in the last 6 months going on with him, see, but he couldn't understand because he didn't know what the Yowies were, see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's a bloke from Sydney that's born in the city. All he's done was go to work in a corporate world, walking through concrete, sniffing all the fumes from all the buses, trains, and automobiles, planes, whatever. But he's gone to the bush. Greenhorn, man, he's got no idea, right? Going out with a manual. This is how you plant a seed. This, what I'm saying. So he gets out there, and all of a sudden he's got all these things going on around him, and he's not aware. But his dog died.
Right.
And it was about 8-year-old dog. He took it out, got the backhoe and dug 8-foot hole, put the dog in there, filled it all up. He come back 2 days later, that dog was gone, the hole was dug out. Yeah, and what can do that?
Yeah.
I had to sit him down and have a yarn to him because he just didn't he couldn't fathom what a yowie was, and I described it to him, even drew a picture for him, on paper.
Yeah.
And he's gone, oh no, we haven't got that sort of thing going on here. And I said, well, brother, you better sit down. You got a stiff drink because you're going to need it, because I'm going to let you know what's out there, mate.
Yeah.
So, So once again, it's that awareness, I speak to a lot of people on radio about it. They ring in and they go, oh, River, can we talk to you about something on air? I go, yeah. Oh, we had this thing happening the other day, like rah, can you give us some hints on what it was? And I said, well, don't go chasing it. Stay away from it. So leave it alone. I mean, yeah.
So your radio station is, I guess it's streamed online as well. We could listen, could we?
It's global.
Yeah. So if you send me the links, I'll put them up in the description later. And
who put it up? Someone put it up before, or not today, but before. It's fluriofm.org.au.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, send me it later in an email, and I'll put it up and everything. And then
it's only on a Tuesday morning, and then I do the Inky and Pinky show on a Sunday on a different station again. It's a station. It's called Tribe FM.
Tribe FM. Okay. Okay.
And what an appropriate station for me to be there. I'm from a tribe.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
And you know what it's like with word of mouth, good. It's putting it out there.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So what about reports? We get reports over here, I say here in America, like, the other side to Bigfoot, where they disappear in front of people. There's other mind speak. Do you get reports of that over there?
Yeah, I ended up with bad nausea. I got mine spoken to, like a form of where I felt really crook in the guts. And it kind of gave me a minor headache type thing. It was like a telepathy type thing. Mm-hmm. And they tried to get into my head, I guess, but he would have been about 40 yards away. But I could feel him. I could feel him through my body. And And I don't know what he was trying to do, but I just kind of, through my tribal way, blocked him out, see? So I don't know what he's up to, but he made me crook, eh? So I just went home and had my tribal medicine. It's called Gumby Gumby. Good stuff, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's in that? What's the recipe?
I can't tell you that. Look, Colonel Sanders won't let out what's in the chicken.
I know, it's fair enough. You have to ask, don't you? You have to ask.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it works. It works. Yeah. But, you know, when I was talking to Kerry about the time when me and my mates went out, you know, like we made up the cyanide tablets, like the capsules, and put it inside the roux, inside a can of power, or emptied the power into the roux, put the cyanide tablet in the roux, and dragged it down the road, and we just whistle, you know, and it'd call the foxes in. We had a big light on the back of the, on the roof of the car, on the Land Cruiser, and we were in the tray at the back, me and my mate, other lads driving, see? And the rope's about 150 foot long. Yeah, with the roux dragging along, see? This is at night time. Tony's got the light and he's shining it around, see? And we caught this big eye shine. Would have been about 8 foot eye. And it just popped out from behind a big gum tree, see? And he said, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" And I said, "Yeah." He shined it back again and it wasn't there. Next thing we felt this thing, bang, on the back of on the Land Cruiser, bang. This thing had ran around the back and pulled the kangaroo off the rope, just dragged it straight off the rope, and ran up into the scrub with it. Tony got out with his gun. With his 20, he wanted to go and shoot it. And I said, "Don't go shooting that. You don't know what it is, you know. It could be a bloke dressed up as a suit, you know, you don't know." But anyway, we seen it go, but then it just, we had a big light on it, but then it just disappeared, it was gone. So I queried that question, you know, but that Kerry asked me, you know, he said, "I wonder if it died from the cyanide tablet." We never know.
No,
the next day we went looking for it, just in case it did. Like we walked about, I don't know, 5, 6 miles just in that area. Because, I mean, if it's going to eat that cyanide tablet, mate, that'll drop you straight away, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. But depends with them, mate. That was 8 foot, so, and he was pretty big. He was, you know?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It depends the size of the body. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? What's the typical weight of a kangaroo? I mean, of an adult kangaroo.
What's that?
What's the typical weight of an adult kangaroo?
Oh, God. Well, we get them up around about, we've got big reds here, about 7 footers, mate.
Right.
It all depends. Yeah, we got the big greys, we got the big reds, we got little blue flyers, we got wallabies, you know, all depends what, right? You know, I don't know, but they're nowhere the size of a, you know, like they're not as big as a yowie.
No. Well, they've got some muscle on them, haven't they, the kangaroos? I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing a Bigfoot and a kangaroo together.
Right, geez, I'll tell you what, that'd be a good matchup, a big 7 footer and a 7 foot yowie.
Definitely.
It'd be a good match. Yeah, so you know, and sister, there's another thing that's just kind of away from the yowie side. But me and my cousins, we seen a bunyip.
What's that?
Oh, okay. It was out western New South Wales. And we were coming home from the pictures, and we were 16. There was 4 cousins, 4 of us going home, walking home, see? And it was a moonlit night. You could see everything was like daylight, It was deadly. It was so good, and nice, and, you know. Anyway, we got halfway across the bridge, see? And we were about, it's about 40 foot off the water. And we heard this grunting sound, see? Anyway, so we looking over the side of the bridge, you know, looking down at the ledge, you know. We seen this thing that was about 20 foot long, about the width of a car. It had a long tail that tapered down to a point, and it had fur on it. It had flippers, and it had the head of a cow.
Wow.
And it was sliding down its way down into the river. Mate, we hooked it. We ran all the way to Uncle's, Uncle and Auntie's just said, Uncle, come on. We jumped in the car. He got the dolphin torches. By this time, it's gone, right? But you could see all the slide marks coming down into the river and how wide it was. Oh, yeah. And that hair, like horse hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
long, isn't it? 20 foot.
He had the my oath, and the width of a car was huge. Yeah. We had the newspapers and everything out there, you know, like here we are standing there getting that picture taken, you know, like, yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
it was good, but yeah. And I was up potato farming up in a place, other side of a place called Mawulumbar, out another place called Nimbin, see, it's in between. This bloke had to go to euthanize his mother in Melbourne. He asked us to go and do the potato farming up there and look after the property. I said, righto then. So we went up there for the weekend, or 4 or 5 days. And we're sitting out the back after doing the farming, it's about 42 degrees, mate, stinking hot, So we pulled a pin about 2 o'clock in the arvo. It was just too hot because we were starting at 5, you know. Anyway, we come back, see, we're sitting in underneath this big green enclosure he's got out the back, you know. Yeah, about 2:30 in the arvo. We're sitting there having a beer. This little fella come walking out. He's a little man he was, and he had dungarees like overalls on. He had overalls and he had a pipe. He had a pipe in his mouth and he had like overalls on. He had a beard. He'd have been about 2 foot tall. Wow. And he looked at us and we looked at him, next thing you know, he's gone. Anyway, and we looked at each other and said, did you see that, brother? And he's going, yeah. And he said, you did see it, didn't you? I said, my oath, and he's only 10 foot away, this lad. So we've been looking at each other, we're thinking, no. So we just down that beer, We got another one, see, we're sitting there, and about, I don't know, lit up a durry, you know, we're sitting there having a smoke, you know. 3 little fellas come out, 2 boys and a little girl. She had like pigtail type things, you know. Right. And she had little ribbons, she had yellow ribbons around them. And the two little lads, they just had shorts on. They had no shoes, just shorts on and a shirt. And yeah.
Wow.
Only little fellas, Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And once again, we looked at each other and we thought, what is going on, man? Yeah. And they seen us again and they ran back to where they come from, though. Yeah. Yeah. That was fair dinkum, and he's still alive today. And he's telling the same thing. He said, me and River, like we only yarning about a month ago about it, Yeah. I said, remember that time, brother? And he said, oh, yeah, I've never forgotten it, mate. Yeah, the little fellas, we're going, no. And I'll tell you another good station, too, to get in contact with is, her name's Sarah Bignell. I was on her show last week, or about 2 weeks ago. It's called Yowie Central, and she's down in Victoria, down in Melbourne.
Okay.
And she does a lot of good stuff, paranormal. She does a lot of, all the gunjas, like ghosts and all that sort of thing, plus Yowies. She's right into the Yowie side of thing. And, she does a good show. She podcasts all around the place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, she's global.
Yeah, she'd be good to hook up with.
Oh, yeah, Sarah Bignell, the name is. Bignall, Sarah Bignell.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yep.
I will do
She's
that.
Good person, really good person, And she does a lot of helping with people I know a few people that's got PTSD from it, see, from their encounters. Like me, I'm mate with the dog man, see. And Sarah's a good link for people who's got those problems. And if they want to share their problems, you know. Yeah. Because some people can't talk to anyone else, sister, about it, see.
So how have you dealt with it? How do you deal with all these experiences? Are you sort of desensitized now? Are you well, I mean, do you enjoy these experiences as well?
Absolutely. I mean, like, it's not every day you see them lads hanging around, you know. But like I said, I don't go looking for them. They found me, you know. And I kind of think to myself, there's got to be a reason for this, you know. There's a reason for everything, isn't there? You know.
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, but you know, I tell people, look, they're out there, right? They're out there. They're definitely out there. I've seen it. I've got friends who've seen it. I got family that's seen it. My sister-in-law was in a taxi with the 3 nieces in the car with him, with the taxi driver. 3 brown jacks ran across in front of him. The taxi driver's never been the same. He gave up the job and everything. Yeah. Yeah, my sister-in-law was sitting in the front. He's driving, and they both seen it, and the kids seen it. Yeah, 3 little brown jacks. Just ran straight across the road in front of him. Well, he put his foot down. He just looked it, But things like that, like that cabbie's never been the same.
Well, I mean, the amount of questions you're left with, and trying to work out what you've seen. It depends on your disposition, but you can imagine some people it just completely takes over, and they can't move on from it. And it's important for people to come and talk, to come and share your experiences, just to lift that load a little bit, to share the load a little bit, and it can make a massive difference, even just talking to one person. And the more you talk, the easier it gets, I think. To share as well.
Since I've been on Bigfoot Odyssey with you and KERRY, and with Brad and Mark, a lot more people know me. I've been pulled up in like a shopping centre. Yeah. Hey, you're River. I seen you on Bigfoot Odyssey last week. I said, yeah, mate. He said, can I talk to you, mate? Can I have a yarn to you?
Yeah, that's cool.
And they've had an experience which they couldn't even speak to their family about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? Just one little thing can connect
That's
you
all
to
it
somebody
takes.
else.
But you need positive people, see? There's still people out there that just ridicule big time, and they go, But like I said earlier, sis, once you've seen it, you won't forget it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't, but I've got a good idea, enough now talking to people, just what an impact this thing can have. And I think you grow a thicker skin as well, don't you? I spend less time trying to talk to the people who don't want to believe it. Because I think you need to really look into it. People don't really need to look into this before they can make a judgment. And
that's right.
Those who pass it off too quickly, I don't really have much time for. So, because they don't have much time for it either, other than to be negative. So, I'm glad you're out there though, and I'm glad people are coming to you, and you are spreading the awareness. And maybe one day we will get some answers. But in the meantime, it's a fascinating subject, and it just surprised me that people, get into it.
Like it's been like I've known about it before 1974, but when I got to see it in 1974, I've never forgotten it, and that's a long time ago now. And I still get like visuals, like from even way from back then, and I can still see him in the bushes. I can still see him looking at me, eh? Yeah. And even that fellow that was at the rabbit warren, when he come across out that tree and looked at us, and he was only 30, 40 yards away, sis. I mean, if he wanted us, he could have just nailed us like that,
Easy.
But they weren't there to hurt us. They were just there to let us know that that's the hunting ground. That's where they feed at that time of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
very, very interesting creatures, and your experiences. I think we've literally just probably scratched the surface of the things that you've experienced. It gives us a good excuse to get together again and talk a little bit more.
To sit there and speak my language to them and have them reply is another thing, mate. We're making inroads there. Well, I am anyway.
Definitely.
And thinking about next year, having my own show so I can get people in to come in and have a yarn like you fellas do,
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
To do that. So
there's a need for it, And literally, once you start, people start to hear about it, and it'll grow. You know, it'll be a great place for people to come to. So, well, it's been absolutely fascinating. I'm glad we've managed to get together and hook up at least, even though we had a few technical difficulties. But
oh no, bloody Australia's too far away, mate.
Too far away. I loved it over there. You know, I absolutely love Australia. I would love to go back again.
Oh yeah.
But we will get back together. I'd love to have you back on, and we can talk more about this. Like I said,
not
really
a problem.
appreciate you on, River. It's been.
Thank you for having me on, Daniela, and Merry Christmas to you and all the mob in the chat. Have a deadly one, eh?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks very much, and to you too. You'll be having it in the nice sunshine as well, won't you?
Oh yeah, I'll be getting my suntan back, mate.
Oh God, I can imagine. I went at December, and it was New Year's Day. I was on the beach there in Melbourne. It was like 45 degrees, you know, Fahrenheit. It was like just
oh my
crazy.
God, that nearly killed you.
Yeah, it almost did actually. Yeah, I spent a few days not feeling very well after that. But look, hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here tonight.
Not a problem. And I'm going to get that the charcoal going to make a white mark on me.
Right. Okay.
See you.
Thanks very much. All right, River. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. Take care. And I will see you all tomorrow night for night 11 of the 12 Days of Christmas. Good night, everyone.